Welcome back to the Vinyl Brew Lounge Side B Session Podcast, everybody. My name is Bobby Hunter, and today we have got, I'm going to say, yacht rock royalty on the
There
show.
you go.
Greg, you like that? Greg Hind, who toured and played with the Little River Band for 20 years. Welcome, Greg Hind, to the
20
podcast.
years. 20.
Woo!
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me. I found you online. We were just discussing how I found you, and I don't know, but it was meant to be.
It was meant to be, and everyone, when I got the this email from Greg, I had no idea it was Greg Hind from Little River Band, and I apologize, Greg, because I ignored the email for 3 days. I clicked on it, and I'm like, wait a second, I know this guy. So here we are. So thank you so much for being on the show.
We made it.
We made it. We made it. So, Greg, I'd like to take a walk down memory lane. You're originally from Melbourne, Australia. You've been in the music industry for decades, right? Quite,
Oh,
quite a number.
yeah. Well, 50 years,
Mhm.
really.
50 years. Wow.
I
Okay.
think I
And I'm sure you
started playing in coffee houses when I was 15. Sort of
did
my
you
first gig was in a coffee house when I was 15, 16. Yeah.
in Melbourne?
In Australia,
All right. In Australia. Yes, exactly. And that's
back in the
is that
suburb I
so
grew up.
and you grew up near the Outback, right? You said?
Well, no, that was where I was born. And then we talked about, and we'll go over it
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
This is take two, guys. We're letting you in
All
behind
right.
the scenes
It's a,
already.
it's okay.
Well, we had,
Take two's
and
take one.
and I think the latency's still there, isn't it? I can tell that
No, no,
you're.
no. You look fine. You look
Are you
fine. You look
okay?
good to me.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, where were we? I've lost the
Well,
thread.
you you're born in Melbourne, but you moved to, of all places, Maine,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. My dad had met a United States fella from Rhode Island, actually, and but he had a holiday house in Maine way back
Okay.
in '69, and they befriended each other. He was out in Australia on a I guess he was invited out through the Rotary Club. Rotary
Oh,
Club
okay.
being a worldwide
Yeah.
association, and they got talking, and Dad was offered a job at a to come over, bring the family and
Right.
preach at a church just outside of Bangor in a place called Newport, Maine.
Oh,
So that
so
was
your
that.
dad was he was a pastor? Your father?
Methodist,
Methodist
Methodist
pastor. Oh,
Uniting
okay.
Church in those
Yeah,
days it
yeah,
was
yeah.
called.
Sure. And
Yeah.
so you were a little one, and then from there you moved
Oh,
back to Melbourne?
sorry. Yeah, back to after about we were in Maine for 4 or 5 years, and
Okay.
those I was between the ages of 8 and 13, so pretty important years. So I've always sort of considered myself, especially now I've been back here 25 years with the band, but I've always considered myself sort of half American anyway,
Yeah.
because I am.
It sound yeah. 'Cause
Yeah,
basically you are. When
yeah.
did the music when did the music bug bite you? Like, when did you first have an interest in music?
Oh, very young. I remember jumping up on the couch. One of my early memories to Elvis. And
Oh,
then I,
wow.
of course, I had older brothers and sisters, so the Beatles. I think another one of my earliest memories was "She Loves You," yeah, 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 sitting in the back seat.
Uh-huh.
You know, just what is this? She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. It was like I don't know. I still remember it clear as a bell. I must have been 3 or 4 years old. You know,
Playing in your parents' house or in the car?
in the car.
Okay.
So yeah, I was fascinated pretty early on. I don't remember seeing them on the. Everyone talks about them on the Beatles on Ed Sullivan. I don't remember that, but I do remember
Okay.
JFK being shot back in Australia.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
that made the obviously all around the world the headlines. But yeah, so it just kind of grew from there, and then my brother sort of learned to play. First time I picked up the guitar, I couldn't make heads or tails out of it, but he learned
Okay.
and showed me some stuff, and then I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks, I was showing him what to do. I just took to it.
And
I just
did
had an
you ever
ear
take
for it.
yeah, an ear for it. So you didn't take lessons?
Yeah,
You just
Bobby, he had sheet music, and I would say that's not even right. You know, I would say I think it goes more like this. I just had an ear.
That's great.
I was lucky.
So how did you have the guts at a young age to start playing in coffee houses?
Oh, I'm still getting nervous playing in.
Do you?
Well, now that I've finally sort of got older and I'm just back to playing solo again, it's like full circle,
Yeah.
which is the way. Um, you know, I just probably started to get used to it. But I was always nervous, never in a band because it's a lot harder to play in front of a small group of people than it is a large group. People say, "Well, what are you talking about? You play in front of
Really?
50,000." I've actually played in front of 250,000 in Australia. I thought it was 250, but I think it was 150,000. So,
Wow.
but it's
Uh,
a lot harder just to play in front of your mother or you
No,
right now.
so really? Because you're being
Yeah.
because why is that?
Well, because it's so it's like live TV, especially in Australia, everything you do on TV is live, so you only get one chance.
I get it.
And
Okay.
same thing as if I was to play for you now, whatever, it's live, you can't go back.
Right.
So you have to really sort of get over all that and project yourself into the song, into the moment, into the music. Um, so you forget about all that stuff. Otherwise, it'll I think that's what happens with a lot of people just can't control their nerves. So
I got it.
they don't same in sport, they don't persevere.
Right. Yeah. That's an interesting spin on that. I would think, listen, I've never been performing on a stage in my life, but I would think if you're in front of 100,000 people, you'd be more nervous than being in front of 50 people. But,
No.
I'm not the
And
one
then
up.
we sat and some days, in the early days in LIB, we'd do the club dates, excuse me, small sort of pubs like,
Yeah.
'cause you'd be on the road, so Tuesday night, you had to do something just to keep everyone moving and paid. So we'd play
Yeah.
these small bars, even with LIB and, only 200 people, and that was really intimidating, but I
Was it?
grew to
Oh, yeah.
love that.
Did you?
In the end, I
Okay.
loved it. I was like, "Bring it on," because there's nothing better than playing in a small environment like that because people, especially with the group, with LIB, because people feel almost like they're on stage, they're sort of behind the scenes,
I get it
and
because 'cause you're so
they
close and intimate with the band, you're right
yeah,
there. Yeah.
exactly, and they're really just so into it, you
That's
know? Mm,
do you miss those days?
yeah, yeah, I miss the days when we used to go on stage and I didn't wanna get off. Yeah, yeah, by the end of my tether with LIB, I was like, after that, but Help Was On Its Way, which was about 2/3 of the way through the song, I was like, "Okay, what am I gotta do?" I started thinking about
Right.
chores and stuff like that, it got a bit so you do lose a bit of the magic,
You do?
in
Okay.
other words.
After so many years with the same guys, that
Well,
type
the
of thing?
problem is, yeah, when you become we even though we were still recording and playing new songs the whole time, basically you're doing the same 15, 16 hits,
Yeah.
and that gets a little limited.
Even reminiscing, Greg? That song, it's the biggest song that LRB's had, right?
No, actually, not really. I never really got tired of playing that one, or It's a Long
Yeah.
Way There.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, there was 2 or 3 that were always okay,
That's good. That's good.
but
So
help some of the ones that were really high vocally,
yeah.
yeah, that can wear your sort of enthusiasm down, put it that
No,
way.
I get it. I get it, I get it. And you were the in when you were in the Little River Band, you were the guy out front vocals and lead guitarist, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I sang "Happy Anniversary," "Help Is on Its Way,"
Yeah.
the other guy,
Uh-huh.
and then whatever, Wayne or whoever couldn't handle it on the night, obviously you have to know everything, so
Yeah.
I've had a go at all of them.
Yeah, you have, huh? What do you let me ask you this. So back to where you're now you're go back to where you were before you're a teenager, you're starting to play in like a cafe. So
Yeah.
did you form your own band or you were just a solo guitarist?
I think, without speaking for every musician in the world, I'd like to think that, you got the way to start is, the way I did it and the way most of us do in the old days anyway. It's a little different now because you've got all those talent shows. So these kids come
Exactly.
along
Yeah.
somewhere between 16 and early 20s, and they don't, you know, have the hours underneath that we have of playing live.
Yeah,
But I
exactly.
guess that's made up for by having professional singing coaches and every type of training and
Yeah.
thing. I guess they learn pretty quick, but
Right.
nothing prepares you for playing live than playing live. So, acoustic guitar,
That's it.
play a few originals. I always wrote, fancied myself as a bit of a writer.
It
And
did you write jingles? Were you a jingle writer
no,
back in the day?
I'd never had any of the singles. I had 10 cuts, 10
No,
album
I
cuts, but
thought it's an outcuts. Okay. Got it, got it. I thought I
album
had
cuts,
read
yeah.
that you wrote a lot of jingles, like,
Oh,
for
yeah, yeah.
commercial.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought you said singles.
That's right.
Yep, we can go through that too. Yeah, I ended up a session singer for quite a while there.
Oh, okay. And as you're moving up through the industry, you're because the Little River Band formed, you know, you didn't join them till what, in other words, you're watching the Little River Band grow as you're not part of it yet, right?
I kind of worked as a lot of the members only lasted one or two albums, three or
Okay.
four at the most. And then they all
Yeah.
went solo. So that's how I worked with
Oh.
all of them on their solo projects. So
Oh,
that's,
okay. I see.
and then the last one being Graham Goble. We toured
Right.
Europe and so forth. And he had his second album out. And so we were, promoting that. And,
Yeah.
so he was the last of them to work, and then, once that didn't work out, it never does, they should stay
Right.
put, I always wish they did, he kept asking me to join for years and years and years, and I said, "No, I'm not interested in joining a band that last hit was back in the early '80s, really, the big
Yeah,
ones
yeah.
were 1980."
Right. Yeah, no, they definitely were. So
So
before they asked you to join, you were sort of part of their because you knew all the guys in the band, right?
I did, and I obviously knew all the material, and
Yeah.
I'd even played, I think when I started out playing, I was one of the very first songs I can remember playing in a little restaurant. I couldn't have been more than 16, was Reminiscing,
Oh, really? Wow.
you
That's
know?
great.
And you have to, and when you're playing on your own, well, solo with a guitar, of course, there's no tracks those days. I wouldn't do it anyway. I like
Yeah.
the earthiness of just a good one voice, one guitar.
Yeah,
That's what I
I get
love.
it. That's your
So,
that's
you just have to do your own version of these songs. So, which I've always been pretty
yeah.
good at
I
too. As soon as I was in the band, I changed all the arrangements. They're still using my arrangements
Oh,
because
no
I just
kidding,
get
really?
bored. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I think I wrote them down
So
once. I was pretty much involved in about 40 to 50 arrangements of the
oh,
old songs.
how does that work? Because I have no idea on this, but how does
A
that
good
work with,
question.
yeah, because arrangements and royalties and money, like, how does that all work if you
Well,
like, is that
that's all
built
taken care of with the yeah, that's all taken care of, Bobby, with the publishing and so forth and the record companies. But arrangements, you've got to be careful because you've got to keep the essence of the song. So you
I
can't
see.
change it too much. Everyone that so there's a real art to that. So I learned that pretty quick. And then of course, once 2 years of that arrangement, I was like, oh well, we need another arrangement. So you need to
Oh,
rearrange an arrangement. We even had an
uh,
album called Rearranged, which is
yeah.
on it's
Yeah.
on iTunes still.
Oh, okay. All right. So
Yeah.
there's still, and the guys that are in the band now are nobody original, right? It's been a long
Just
time.
Wayne who's saying take it easy on me and Night Owls.
Yeah. All right, not
But
okay, not else.
he's I think from what I don't really follow much, but I think he's sort of struggling. He's 75, which is normal.
Uh,
And
yeah,
I think the other guys sing. So yeah, it's
yeah,
just the way it is. As long as you're most of the bands sort of move on and have different newer members and you just
yeah,
carry on as long as you're true to the essence of the songs,
yeah. Do you still
you
keep
know.
in contact with anybody like Graham or Glenn Sharrock? Anybody?
Um David Briggs, the guitar player,
Yep. Okay.
that played all those great solos.
Yeah.
Um and a few of the old members that I mentioned before that I think Roger, the bass, well, we just lost Roger McLaughlin, the original bass player,
Yeah. I
just
know.
last
Yeah.
year. So that was sad. And then
Yeah.
so I would work with him all the time. And then Rick Formosa, the original guitar player, who was
Okay.
actually Australian, Italian, Canadian.
Oh,
So
that's a nice
even though
mix. Yeah.
the band was from Australia,
Yeah.
there were people from all kinds of different countries, really.
Yeah.
We're
That
Australia's very much like you would say it's a melting pot.
Oh, it is, okay. So,
Yeah.
speaking of Australia, so you obviously were big in the Australian music scene, so and you're playing you know a lot of musicians. Do you have any really good stories about any other? Because I for some odd reason, I've always been gravitated towards Australian music, Australian rock, especially, like, In Excess, Midnight Oil, Jimmy Barnes, like, I love that stuff. Have you ever hung out with these guys or played with them at all?
Jimmy,
Yeah,
actually Jimmy, um, going way back, it must have been 1980, one of the first sort of pro bands I was in. Um, he walked into the club and got up and sang 2 songs with us.
oh, that's great.
So I was like 18, 19 at the time, and, yeah, I guess he
Wow,
wasn't much older, but he was probably
yeah.
mid-20s, but, by then, Cold Chisel, his band, were
Yes,
huge. So that was
yeah,
a treat. I
that's
remember the
great.
2 songs he sang. He sang,
Yeah,
an AC/DC song. I think
okay.
I don't know, like, I'd rather not say what we were doing. Um, it sort of takes
Yeah,
away
it's alright.
a little from the whole thing, and then, I think we did
Yep.
"Knocking on Heaven's Door," you know?
Oh, nice. That's cool,
Yeah.
man. That's cool. So
Yeah,
you hung out with that oh, crap.
not not so much, a bit of a connection there with Rob, the drummer, who just passed away too. We're at that
Yeah,
age now, or just a lot of these guys I'm
yeah,
always amazed at how long some of them have stuck around, to be
I
honest,
know.
you
A
know?
lot of them have, you know? Did you
Yeah.
ever, did you ever meet the guys from INXS, the Farris brothers or Michael Hutchence? These guys when they were up and coming?
Uh, only the bass player, actually, the, Gary Beers.
Gary Beers, yeah,
Worked with him a
okay.
bit because once
That's cool.
Michael died, like all of us, you go on and you do whatever you can to make
Yeah,
ends meet,
yeah,
because that's all we
yeah.
know. I mean, music, I've really only ever had one sort of normal job, call it, you know,
It's yeah.
a normal
Wow.
job. Otherwise,
It's
that's all I've ever done is music.
and obviously you've been able to make a career out of it, earn a living and, which is fantastic.
And that comes down to being versatile. You have to
Yeah.
be versatile. Otherwise, you're not gonna last.
Oh, I see. I see. So you were in the Little River Bands. When did you get the call to join them? Like what was that like?
Uh, Way back at first in the '80s, and then by the late '90s, um, Graham had got tired of calling me,
Uh-huh.
and the drummer that was in the band at the time called me. And I think I was going through a breakup, and I realized that the solo career was, I had a couple of solo deals that didn't work out. So I saw the writing on the wall. And I think, this now's the time to join. Of course, you
Okay.
don't realize in America, you come here and play because I was only young when I left. Uh, you can play till the cows come home here, as you know, and some of them
Yeah.
play too
Oh yeah.
long.
Oh, so there's like we were talking on the phone last week. There's like David Lee Roth is still out there doing stuff. I mean, just there's a lot of people
I
still
keep
out
seeing
there.
his videos.
I know. Listen, I'm a huge Van
God
Halen
bless him.
fan. I know. Listen,
I know. You said
Brett, that's how I feel. God bless him. I mean, all right, he doesn't look or sound like he used to, but you know what? The guy's still out there. You know, it's all right.
absolutely. He's got every
Yeah,
right.
he does.
People want to pay their money. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
listen, there's these tours that come around. There's one coming actually to Manhattan over the summer, 80s tours where it's bands like uh, Missing Persons or
Oh
Animotion,
yeah,
Naked Eyes, Flock of Seagulls, and they come out and they do 4 or 5 songs each, and that's it, and it's fantastic. I've seen them a
two or
couple
three.
times.
I think most of
Or
them. Yeah,
well, they do
that's the
4 or
way to
5.
do it.
No, that's yeah, but you know what? They're all in their 70s, and
Yeah, that's
it's
about all
great.
we can
Places
handle.
it's it's and you know what's funny? These shows always sell out, Greg. People still go to this 45 years later.
Yeah, the heritage circuit they call it, and it's
That's what it
just
is.
classic rock, and really that came about, I think, because there's just nothing for the kids to listen to
That's
uh anymore,
yeah.
and there really hasn't been for the last 25 years.
You know what?
Some people would say.
I agree. Listen, I'm a
I
music.
mean, there's been tons of great music, but not like our day.
It's not. Look behind me. We got David Bowie,
Yeah.
U2, the Cars, Toto, the Pretenders, obviously Little River Band, the Doors, and it's just there's
Yeah, I don't
something
see any
missing.
90s bands or many
Uh,
80s bands up there either, so there you go.
I don't have. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot. I have more. I'm more 70s, 80s, and 60s. I mean, over here I got Golden Earring, Beach Boys, Stray Cats, Billy Idol, The Police, but it's different today, and I don't mean to offend any people watching or listening. That I'm not saying music sucks today,
Yeah.
but it's Greg, it's so different. I almost feel as if the songwriting is not as good as it used to be.
Well,
I just
and there's reasons for that,
why do you think
Again, they
that is?
just don't well, they don't have they just don't have the grounding. And they just probably don't have the listening skills, the attention span,
Right.
as you know,
That that
to
that's the big, I
expand
think.
your, you remember classic rock, obviously,
Yeah,
they'd play album tracks. You'd hear half of Physical Graffiti, on the radio,
yeah,
from Led Zeppelin, or you. So we, cut a long story short, we just would listen to a lot more diverse type,
yeah,
types of music. It
yeah.
was melodic, it was rock and roll, it was harmony, it was
How
instrumental,
yeah.
light
Dude,
jazz was creeping in there,
and
and I just think the kids didn't have all that.
no, not at all. And now here we are, fast forward 50, 45 years later, and this whole concept of yacht rock late
Mhm.
'70s, early '70s, is made a massive resurgence, and the Little River Band is lumped into that because now you got
Thanks to
yacht
Cool
rock
Change,
radio.
it's
Oh,
right at
yeah,
the
thanks to
top.
that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's amazing.
That's like
It's amazing.
that's almost become it would if they had a top 10 yacht rock, it would be close to being in there.
Oh, 100%. I think it would be. I think it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think it would be. But
I mean,
it's
I know I
fantastic.
have to play it. Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, no, I was gonna say, I think it's fantastic because someone my age, I'm almost 60, and I remember these songs when I was a kid, and here I am again listening to them, and they never age. These songs still sound fantastic, and they bring back the memories, you know?
It's strange, isn't it? And I just don't
It
think there's gonna be many songs from the last 20 years that in 30, 40, 50 years time, we'll be long gone, but I just don't think it's going to be the same.
I don't think it is either. I did a podcast last week, with a gentleman named, Andrew Chacon, and he has a fantastic '70s and '80s cover band here in New Jersey, and I point blank asked him, I said, "Andrew, 50 years later, Fleetwood Mac is still amazing." I said, "What songs come out today that people younger will be listening to in 50 years from now?" He's like, "I I don't know. Taylor Swift, maybe, I don't know." But
I think, some of the Train, John Mayer stuff,
John Mayer, yeah, yeah.
maybe some of the country stuff, but the country stuff is so, they it's they
It
just throw it out. There's so much of it. I I really
it's
don't
very
know how much of that'll stick.
I'm not a big country fan, but it's almost, like, very commercialized. I go into a
Well, it's
store and I hear
70s.
country music. Yeah, yeah,
It's
mhm,
70s melodies. Look,
right,
I met all the, I used to live in Nashville and I'd walk down Broadway. I'd have to get up in every one of those bars and sing. Not now, it's all changed. But
right.
10 years ago, I'd have to get up and sing in all those bars because they loved,
That's
all the country
it
guys loved rock and roll and they all wanted
uh,
to be classic rock artists. So I was like some kind of demigod around there, It was
it's like,
weird.
"Wait a second, we got Greg Hind here, let's get him up on
Yeah.
stage."
Yeah.
That's
It
good.
was it was odd.
How long did you live in, Nashville for? How long were you down there for?
Oh, gee, on and off for about 20 years. I had
Oh, alright,
2 different houses.
okay. So
Yeah.
and that's I think I saw you had an acoustic show, I believe, with somebody else called Tales from the Yacht, was that down in Nashville?
Not really. That was, I started, doing some corporate stuff a few
Okay. Oh,
years
okay.
once I'd moved on from the
Yeah.
band, people track you down just like I tracked
Yeah.
you down, and then you
Right,
tracked
right.
me down.
Yeah.
So, it it's you get these calls and people wanna do corporate work, and you're like, you're at the mercy of their band, and,
Right. Right.
luckily, David Calzaretta, who runs, gee, 5 or 6 or 7 of these, bands out of Chicago.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's where we do some work there, and, he's got a place in Arizona too, so we do some work down there.
That's great. So
Yeah.
you're still doing gigs, right?
So,
Solo
yeah, I
or
do
with a
some
couple.
corporate gigs, and, we'll do 8 or 9 of the big hits, and, that's
Great.
fun.
That's got that's gotta be. Now those aren't, 50,000 people in a stadium. Those are more intimate, obviously. Uh,
Yeah.
the corporate. Yeah.
Yeah, more somewhere between 2 to 5,000,
Yeah. That's
plus
still
more.
that's good though. That's awesome.
Yeah,
And do you travel
and
with
people
that
are
around the
yes, and people are are very appreciative, and, I guess I've still got my voice because people, they say, "You still got it," and you can't get
Great.
there's nothing better, you know,
Yeah,
because you feel
that's
very fortunate
fantastic.
because a lot don't, a lot
Yeah,
should be
yeah.
hanging up the towel.
No, I get it. I get it. So you still sound good, right?
And then my turn will
So let me
come. It it'll come soon.
I don't know. You look good, man. You're still out there doing your thing. So, more power to you. God bless you for doing that. I think it's fantastic.
Well, thank you.
So, so I wanted to ask you, so you were in Little River Band for almost 20 years. And towards the end, what was the shift? Like you played with them for so long. I mean, you guys did what, 90 or 100 shows a year when you were in the heyday with them?
120.
Oh God. Wow.
So yeah, in essence, you'd be gone from home, you know, sort of probably close to 200, 250 days a year,
Wow.
which,
Wow.
yeah, so you just become a road dog, and that, that it's tough, Bobby.
It's,
It's lonely, and hence,
yeah.
one of the main reasons I left, besides having a younger daughter, and I wanted to be a good father,
Yeah.
was I became pretty much an alcoholic because really
Oh,
just the boredom. I think the
yeah.
boredom of playing, and I'd kind of lost. We got some Nashville guys. I don't mind. I'll be honest about it. I felt like I kind of lost my creative influence,
Did
so there
you?
was just no
Yeah.
reason to.
I see. So you voluntarily said,
There's no
guys,
reason
I'm
to hang
done.
around
This is it.
anymore, and yeah, in health reasons. I don't. I don't even know if I would still be alive if I'd have stayed
Wow.
because with the drinking becomes smoking cigarettes. I never did drugs,
Sure.
but bad diet and bad hours
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
bad
It
girls.
takes it's gotta take its toll. And I guess after a while, I mean, people think, wow, you're in a band, you're on the tour, that must be the most amazing lifestyle. But I can see how you get burned out after
Yeah,
so many years doing it. Yeah.
depends on your
Yeah.
personality. You really have to
Okay.
be built for it, and you really have to have something else to take with you. Like either a hobby or another job that you can. The other guys had their computers and they all had studios, and I
Yeah.
just wasn't technically sort of inclined, so that hurt me in the end.
Oh, I
Hurt me
see.
and
So
hurt me and helped me because all I have is my voice and playing, so
yeah,
I still love it.
that's great. That's great.
Yeah,
So you were drinking a lot on the road, and you're good now, you're sober, you that's all behind you
eight
type of thing?
years and 8 years in January.
Congr That's awesome. Congratulations, Greg. That's
Yeah,
great. That's
for all
great.
those
That's
listening, don't do it. It sucks.
good advice for you youngsters out there.
Bet you weren't
Exactly.
expecting
All right.
that.
No.
I'm just kidding.
It's alright. I know. I got you. But you know what? You live and you learn. You've had a great career in music, right? And
Sure
you're
did.
still out there still out there playing, which is
Still do. I'm lucky to have the pedigree and
yeah,
amongst all the other things that that I sort of accrued over the years with my
right.
career, and so yeah, I still feel I got a few more years left in me, a
It's good.
few more
So,
good ones.
when we were on the phone, I was telling you, so that the name of the podcast is the Side B Sessions, because I always liken life to here. We'll use the Little River Band album as an example. So you've got
Got the old
oh yeah, I got
sleeper catcher.
yeah, exactly. So albums
Now
have
it's
side.
funny if
Side-
if sorry to cut you off. I keep
Go
doing that
ahead.
because we sorry
Don't
for all those
don't.
at home. We have a little bit of latency, but
That's right.
if you'd had the album before that, Diamantina Cocktail,
Uh huh.
the Australian and the American versions were different.
Were they different?
But that one, Sleeper Catcher, I believe. What are the songs? Starts
Well,
with
yeah, Sleeper Catcher's got Shut Down, Turn Off, Reminiscing, Red-Headed Wildflower, Light of Day,
yep,
and
and
side
then
two,
the second side two, I believe, starts with
Fall from Paradise.
um Fall from Paradise.
Yep.
Yeah,
And you got
that's right.
Lady, Sanity Side, So Many Paths, and One for the Road.
There's only 9 songs. That was the
That's
way
it.
it was in those days,
That's it.
or
Yeah,
9 or 10. That's all we ever had.
and that's it. And this was 1978, looks like. Um,
Yep.
but what I was referring to is life. You've got side A and side B. So I always think of it this way: your side A. We'll do the Greg Hines side A, right? So you're a musician. You're for decades, right? And you said something interesting before when we first started. It's almost like you've come full circle because you started out as a young solo artist in a cafe. Here you are, tons of life experience, tons of shit you've gone through probably over the years, and you're still out there, and you're almost back to where you were. Right? Does that make sense? So, in a manner of
Pretty
speaking,
much.
your side B is you're now living your side B based on all the stuff you've done your entire life. Even though you're doing corporate gigs, you're not playing in front of 100,000 people anymore. Like, you don't even want that anymore, right?
No, really, I think side B for me is gonna be when I die. That'll be my side B. I'll
That's your
be just
side.
stuck on side A.
That's it. So, all right. So, folks, if you're listening or watching to this, so Greg Hines is just side A. That's it. When he dies, he's side B. We guess, all right. We get it. That's pretty funny, dude. I like that. I
It
like that.
is.
Uh, that's good. That's good. But listen, you're sober 8 years. You said, right?
Yes.
There you go. That's a
Yes,
side
sir.
B. That's a side B move, though. You know. Yeah.
Yeah, and being a better dad because I was out on the road
There you
and
go.
I the marriage obviously didn't work out.
Yeah.
So I moved back to Nashville and so I would come and see Ashlyn, my daughter,
Okay.
but it would only be once every 2 or 3 weeks. And
Oh, wow.
when I'd leave, it was
Yeah.
heartbreaking. It was just
Oh, it must have been.
heartbreaking. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So and you know what? Side B, to be to be to be real, you would be, you're right, getting sober and just becoming selfless and not selfish. So I learned how to be selfless. Still
There
learning.
you still learning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all do. So, all right. So your side B is not when you drop dead. You're doing side B now. That's good. Okay. All right.
Yeah. I was
It's
being
okay.
facetious there.
No,
I'm
I know.
sure
I know.
there's
Is is
plenty
your
paths
daughter?
to
Is
side B.
she in music? That's good.
She
Exactly.
really is. She's got a recital coming up. She's got to be 15 in August, so still
That's
14.
great.
She started going to lessons this year or last year, and she's got a big old voice. I think she's more the Broadway, maybe
Right.
down that avenue,
That's awesome.
so to
That's
speak.
good.
But we'll see. You never know.
That's great. Does she because she's a young teenager, but does she think, wow, my dad's played all over the world? Like, does that resonate with
Yeah,
her?
because
No.
that's all she's
Okay.
ever known. I've
Yeah.
got pictures of her as a baby with the big industrial headphones on,
Yeah.
with her auntie or her mom carrying her around, so she's all she's ever known is concerts, rock and roll.
Wow.
So it's weird that she ended up sort of at the moment going down the Broadway, but at school they do all these plays, and that's the kind of,
Yeah.
Broadway's kind of got its second wind again
Yeah.
or
A
third
lot of these
wind.
schools. Yeah, they do a lot of Broadway shows, and at these
Yeah, with
recitals in school.
Hamilton
Yeah.
becoming so, huge and now they'll do anything
Yeah.
as a stage or as a Broadway,
Yeah, that's
you know.
great.
with-
So
So
let me ask you this: you've been in music your entire life. Who, if you had to name three bands or three musicians that were the biggest influence on you and everything you do, who would they be?
well, you can't. I mean, as I, I'd be. It would be remiss of me to not include Elvis and the Beatles because I just
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
and to be honest, it's a it's your normal kind of answer, but it's so true.
Yeah.
You know, it's just it is what it is. And I had older brothers, so I had a lot of influences. But then I would say after that, if to pick a third one, you would
Yeah.
just go down the acoustic aisle and you put
Okay.
Eagles, American, Neil Young, bang, straight in there.
Go.
Crosby,
Good. That's
Stills.
good. Yep. Did you ever meet any of those guys back in the day?
Oh
Any of
yeah,
the
we
Eagles?
work with all of them.
Oh, did
Yep,
you really? That's wild. That's wild.
yep,
I
and
had
I work with America all the time.
oh, those guys? Oh, wow. That's,
Hmm.
you know, you might know this, I'm not sure. I had read somewhere online that America wrote the song Ventura Highway for the Beach Boys. I don't know if that's true or not. I read
Um,
it somewhere
they
because
did
they were
write it for
touring with
somebody
the
else,
Beach Boys.
which yeah, which I wasn't aware of. But you're spot on because I just
I
saw
think
that last week that they didn't write that
yeah.
for themselves, which is
Yeah, they
odd.
wrote it for I know. They wrote it. I think I'd read it. I don't know, some rock site that they were touring with the Beach Boys, and they wrote Ventura Highway
Yeah,
because
well,
it's
that's
what
early
life on.
on,
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
so they
Um,
didn't know
s-
they'd have a
no,
career, so they were just writing songs
exactly,
for anybody, I guess.
exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of the Eagles, Glenn Fry was quoted as saying the Little River Band is the best singing band in the world, and you
Yep.
stepped
I remember
into
when he
that.
said that.
That's actually yeah, that's pretty neat. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Bit hard to go past the Eagles in their prime, though. I mean,
I
when you
know.
watch this Seven Bridges Road clip that still
Oh,
stands up from
it
I think
it
78,
does.
79.
Yep.
Uh,
Unbelievable.
that's pretty,
And it
five
and
guys singing at their peak
they were tremendous.
like that.
I had
Five
I
lead
had the f
singers, too, by the way, really,
pretty much.
except for maybe
Yeah,
Tom Felder, but they're all lead
mm,
singers. That's unusual
it is. It's very unusual, and I
nowadays.
think weren't they the backup band for Linda Ronstadt?
That's
I
right.
think Don yeah, I think they were in the Linda Ronstadt's
3 of
band.
them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Randy,
and
Glenn, and Don. Yeah.
that's right, the 3 of them, and she was suggesting to them that, "Guys, you should you guys are good, maybe start your own type of thing." I'd read that too, which I found pretty
I
interesting.
think that's very accurate, and, I think that just shows what a great gal Linda was, number 1, and I guess she deep down, she thought, "Wait a sec, these guys are gonna they've got something."
Yeah,
When
Linda
you listen to Glenn Frey and Don Henley's voice, you're like, "Wow,
oh,
that they're too good to be
I
singing
know,
backing
tremendous.
vocals."
And it's sad too because Glenn Fry, he died way too young. What was he, his early
Oh,
60s? 64
still bugs
maybe?
me.
Yeah, what the hell happened to him? What was wrong with
I
him?
don't know, but it wasn't there's still bu I mean, I think it's probably, a shut case now, but it was kind of open for a while because, like a lot of times there was accusations that the hospital messed up.
Yeah,
But I think he
something
had
messed up.
yeah, he had some kind of what was it, some kind of I think it was trouble with one of his organs, I think.
Yeah, he had
But
some underlying condition, but I
he could have survived it, which really
yeah,
sucks.
way too young, you know? And
Way too
I know
young.
the Eagles oh, it's crazy. They just played, they were at the
That's
Sphere
10 years
in,
now.
Vegas. It's easily 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, it's sad. Um,
Yeah, they're in the sphere.
so they're in the Sphere, yeah, they're selling out. I met a gentleman the other night, my wife and I went to go see, this crazy, incredible Chicago cover band called Leonid and Friends. They're a Russian cover band. All I do is play Chicago and Earth, Wind& and Fire,
Oh, yeah.
and a gentleman I was sitting next yeah, you know these guys? They're tremendous. They're
Oh, absolutely.
they're
Well, how could you miss with the lead singer they've got? The young girl. She's like
yep. Oh,
drop dead.
so
Amazing.
she is so we saw them, last Saturday night right here in Montclair, New Jersey at the Wellmont Theater, tremendous. These guys,
I
it's if you
know.
close your eyes, it sounds like Chicago.
They're incredible.
Um, they are. I kind of do like watching cover bands a lot. Playing this gentleman I mentioned before, Andrew Chacon. They do some of your stuff. When they play like their 70s yacht rock things. And I think it's amazing when cover bands get up there and play and sound like the original artists that they used to follow. I think it's tremendous.
Well, that's what we're all trying to do is capture that essence.
Yeah.
Um, I always like to put a little bit of a spin on it, my
Okay.
own thing, um, just to make it your own.
Yeah.
But that's and you know because they're these songs you take them on, they become like your children. You know,
Absolutely.
they really
Yeah.
do. You have to
Yeah.
look at it that way. That's how important they are in your life.
Yeah.
These 12 top 10 hits or top 20 hits.
Yep.
You treat them like your children, and you nurture
That's
them
yeah.
and
Yeah.
fix them up and keep them
They're
growing
they're
like you would
they're
with
the oldest.
your
Yeah.
kids.
Exactly.
Yep.
They're like 50-year-old children for you. It's in a matter of speaking,
Yeah.
Or 60.
So
Uh,
yeah, I think there's cover bands and then there's cover bands, as you're kind of saying. So if you can
yeah.
definitely inject something original into it, as well as keeping the essence of the song,
Right.
you know, or parts of the song too, like so
Right.
because too many people change the verses too much or the chorus or the middle eight, and it's like no, you gotta you gotta
Yeah.
be
I
clever,
get it.
a
Well,
bit more clever
they're
than
more of
that.
a oh, absolutely. Well, I think they're more of a tribute band almost, because people debate like, "Well, it's a cover band, but a tribute band," you know? I
Yeah,
think
I
they're more of
couldn't
a
do a
tribute
tribute
band.
band. I just couldn't do it. I've
No.
got to be able to, we were
Yeah.
always, adding new songs and like I say, and that was always me that had to sing the new ones. Because I wrote
Uh,
a lot of the newer ones, so
oh, I
which was
see.
tough, because people want to hear
Yeah.
"Help Is on Its Way"
Right.
and you
Did
know
did, uh did you ever dive
the
into,
rest of
like,
them.
singing other, like, songs, like, say, maybe "Player," "Baby Come Back"? Did you ever do that in an acoustic show or any other bands like that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, because we had
Okay.
I mentioned to you we had Peter Beckett from Player
Oh,
with us
yeah.
for 8 years.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
so we got to do "Baby Come Back" all the time. So I do it now and again. A lot of these you gotta be smart. You can't be when it's just you and a guitar. You can't be just yelling at the top of your
Yeah.
lungs. So you might take it down a tone, and sing it a little lower. But it's
Right.
people don't know. They
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
can't tell because you're still
Exactly.
capturing again. That original. I call it essence, but it's that sound that was
Mhm.
there to begin with. You
Yeah.
can't
I get
deviate
it.
too far from that.
No, you can't. You can put your own spin on it, but or change the arrangement, but you can't deviate from the actual essence of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the trick.
That's a good point. Yep. That's good.
Yeah.
So what is next for Greg Hind? What's next for you?
Well, geez, I'd still like to. I think the one thing I do miss, Bobby, is being in the studio. I just up here in Michigan where my daughter is. That's
Oh,
why I
you're in
came back
Michigan. Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
There's small time Michigan. It's not Detroit. Even so, there's not many studios anymore, and I'm not. As I stated, I'm not really tech technology, and we're getting there, but we're still behind. So I would,
It's all right.
I'd love to sort of have my hands back in the studio on some level.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's probably where I'll end up. I know I can. I did some producing back in Australia. I hear some of the production that's out now, and I'm like, geez, you left this out. You could have done this. I still think that's probably where I'll end up. Maybe in Nashville,
Okay. All right. So maybe head back to Nashville, huh?
and it
All
might be
right.
just a case of walking into one of the record companies and go, look, without sounding big headed, you just need. And I was trying to talk myself into doing what I was still there, and just walk in and say, look, I'll do the first album. Pick up,
Yeah.
give me a new artist. Let me work with them. I'll do it for free, and we'll see how it
Right.
goes. Because I
Yeah,
know
I got you.
that I can bring the professionalism to them that they
Sure.
sadly lack a lot of the
They said,
younger
yeah,
kids.
exactly. No, yeah. Well, you can just, as you're a young person now, you can just pull out your phone and make a song on SoundCloud, put it on TikTok, and just sort of create anything,
Yeah,
and, and have that
exactly.
flash at the yeah, have the flash in the pan fame, you know.
Well, and
But it
that's
doesn't.
you say, we talk about what happened to music. Really, once that synthesizer and the sequencer was in the early '80s, with the
Yeah,
English sort of the new romantic sound and whatever you want to call it, that made it so anybody could do it. And then it just
yeah,
became easier and easier and easier. Now
yeah.
anybody can, like, you had to have
Exactly.
some kind of musical talent. Now you don't have to
Yeah.
have any,
That's the problem,
which is
Greg.
frightening.
It
Yeah,
it
which
it,
is
it
there's
is.
no other walk of life.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the scary part, the way things are now.
Maybe we're
I like
saying too
to
much, but
it's alright. It's okay. I like to wrap things up with people by throwing them a couple of, fictitious questions, right? So, let's okay, and this is and I know you're 8 years sober, which is fine, but I always say to people, you walk into a bar and there's somebody famous at the bar sitting there. No one else is around, and you've got 1 hour with that person. Musician, alive or dead. Who would it be for you? Like, I wanna talk to that person.
well, because it happened to me, I would
Yeah.
have to say Olivia Newton-John.
Oh, God.
I found
Really?
myself, yeah, I was on the same bill with her. It was a charity, huge, 10,000 sort of seat charity gig at a big stadium,
Yeah.
and we all ended up back at the Sheraton, sitting in the bar with the piano player. And I looked over,
Okay.
I don't know how it happened, and I'm sitting next to Olivia singing harmonies
That's great.
with her all night long.
Wow.
Yeah, which was so cool because Grease is just my all-time favorite movie, and
Yep.
I think I even remember one of the only sheet music, pieces of sheet music I ever bought was a Liam. Have you never been mellow? Because I just
Oh,
love the melody so much, and then I got it home and
tremendous.
realized that was all wrong.
Oh, okay. Tremendous song. So you hung out
But
with Olivia Newton-John at the Sheraton.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
great.
and right to the point, Bobby, where she looked at me and said, "Greg, why don't you get up and sing one?" Because we were just doing the harmonies
Yeah.
behind everyone that was having a turn, you know.
Right.
And she looked
That's
and
a great
said,
story.
"Well, Greg, for starters, I didn't know she knew my name, so I was like dumbfounded,
Right. Yeah.
and
Yeah. That's awesome.
and then I really don't remember what happened after that. I just blacked out. I think I just kind of chickened out, went up to my room. Big mistake.
Wow. Big mistake. And this was
Big
what she
mistake.
was in her heyday. She was in her heyday at the time, right? During this time?
And single, newly
Oh!
divorced, just coming off the
Oh,
cancer, her
yep.
cancer, unfortunately, but
Yeah.
which she
Okay.
fought so bravely so many
Wow.
years.
Yeah.
I think she
She
had it
was
3 times in the end.
I think so. She was a treasure. I have one of her albums. I I was young when Xanadu came out. Remember Xanadu, that movie?
Yeah.
And the soundtrack is Olivia Newton-John and ELO.
Jeff Lynne.
It's Jeff Lynne. Such a good
Yeah.
soundtrack, and ever since
Genius.
then, I've always yeah, oh god, Jeff Lynne, um, prolific, right? That guy?
He's turning
Yeah,
into maybe, if somehow he does one or two more things. I think he's past it now. He's up there, but God, he's nearly as good as the Beatles, you'd have to say.
Yeah.
His
He I think he wrapped up his touring last year, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think that's
Uh,
it.
yeah,
Yeah, he's
I
probably
tried
getting
to
near 80.
I think so,
It
but
gets tough.
I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine. So that okay, so that would be it for you. So your whole thing is your Olivia Newton-John. So, um, are there any
Other than
concerts
that,
you've s
it would be
Yeah,
Don
yeah.
Henley. Yeah.
Oh, Don
Always
Henley.
wanted to
Okay.
sit down and write a song with Don.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Well, maybe you still can, man.
Never
Reach out
happened.
to him.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's right.
You know? Uh, have you
I'm ready.
I'm sure you are, dude. I'm sure you are, Greg. Have you like you're a music guy, you've played in front of thousands of people. Were you ever going to concerts yourself like, "Oh, I loved it. I saw AC/DC back in 1982," or whatever it might have been. Were you a concert goer?
Well, I mean, you're so good at this. You pick all the right questions because you're not going to believe this, but AC/DC played their fourth gig at my high school dance on a Saturday night in 1974. Their
Holy
fourth
sh
gig ever, I found out. There's probably
And
50 people there. And we're there. Who are these guys? They were scary. Angus was on Bon Scott's shoulders,
right.
running around the stage, and then all of a sudden, stand up on top of the PA. Those PAs were huge in those days.
Oh, yeah,
And we're like,
gigantic.
all the Sharpies and skinheads were there dancing like this, down the front.
Right, right,
We're scared.
right.
And
And
then I
this was the
saw him.
Bonds
So this is Bonn, it's
Bon
1974.
Scott.
And then I saw him
Wow.
2 weeks later up the road at another show.
No kidding. Wow.
So
That's awesome, bro. Did you ever meet
pretty
those
hard to
guys when
top
you
that.
became Oh, of course, yeah. Had you met them
Um,
before?
no, I never ran into him.
Okay.
We just were too different musically styled, so we were never on the
Yeah,
same bill. Um, but
right.
funny enough, one of my best friends here, Ian Smith, was their manager, tour manager for,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, 30
Long
years.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
his best friend is Brian, sitting down there in, his best friend of all time
oh,
is Brian sitting down there in, Florida.
Brian Johnson.
Brian Johnson, yeah.
Hmm.
So
And
I'm
you
like,
know what?
well, tell him to come up here and let's do some solo stuff. I know we could do a really good duo because
You should
I'm
put
really
together
good
something
at
like that.
breaking
Yeah.
down those
Yeah.
songs unplugged because I've done it.
Oh, okay.
AC/DC songs unplugged, you
Oh,
know?
have you really? Oh,
Oh, yeah. You get
that's
people
cool.
asking, you're like, oh, yeah, I can
Oh,
do that.
yeah. Oh, wow. And here they are about this I know they're coming to Jersey to MetLife Stadium in August. Sold
You're
out,
kidding.
AC/DC. Nope, sold
No.
out.
Still?
Swear to God. Yep. 40, 50,
I don't
60,000
know.
people. Little pricey on the
God, it'll
tickets,
be
up
packed.
like oh, nosebleed seats are like $800 a pop. It's crazy. It's crazy,
Yeah.
you know? Oh, that reminds me, I have another final, question for you about this whole ticket thing. Um, Ticket prices are out of control.
What has happened? Like everything.
Out
The pro
I I out of control, Greg, right?
Out of control, and it's really, I mean, the ticket prices, obviously, it's out of control, but it's like everything all of a sudden, but the problem with America coming from Australia, when I first came back here,
Yeah,
the cost of living was so cheap. I'll tell you one story. One of the first girlfriends I had lived in
yeah.
Tulsa. She would,
Okay.
back in 99, 2000, somewhere around there, she would put $5 in her car for the week for
There
gas.
you go.
$5.
Wow.
I mean, and that was like that up until, you know, the cost of living in America was dirt cheap up until COVID. And then it all
Yep.
just went to went to hell,
What the hell,
and
man?
everything's
But
expensive now. But it's
everything, it
we're really feeling it, noticing it because everything was so cheap for so long here. So we're just catching up with the
correct.
rest of the
I mean,
world.
I
Is
can
what's happening.
remember. So my first concert, it's what's happening. It's I just get really pissed about the concert tickets because, listen, this isn't 45 years ago. My
Oh,
first
it's
concert ever
insane.
was Def Leppard. Yeah, I saw Def Leppard and Billy Squier in 1983. Right, it was like $17. But
Yeah,
now,
for like what, five
last
bucks,
week, yeah, it was
15 bucks,
dirt cheap.
something.
Last nothing. Yeah, last week,
Yeah.
Bruce Springsteen was at the Garden, and the night of the show, I just happened to go on Ticketmaster. Greg, there were seats still available in the upper deck at Madison Square Garden. It was $1,600 a piece to see Bruce Springsteen at the Garden. Like, who the
What?
F is paying for this
Not
shit?
me.
That's it's insanity. It's
Well,
just
my daughter
it
just
is a
went to Bruno Mars, and it was my she's remarried, and her husband Dennis does really well at work, and
yeah,
they obviously sprung her for the ticket, but that was $750.
right. Yep, I know. Yeah,
Seven
it's a
hundred
little
dollars.
it's listen, when your buddy Don Henley played at the they're at the Sphere. I mean, those are going for 12, $1,400 a piece. The
Are they
Sphere.
really? I had no
Yeah,
idea.
it's crazy.
It's
You
insane.
know,
It's wrong.
it really it really is. That's a
But they
whole
don't make any money.
separate
We don't make
topic.
any money from records, and
Right.
because they never corrected that sort of, the Napster started it, and then
Oh,
iTunes,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
so
I know
the only way you
stuff.
make money is touring.
That's
But
it.
that's a
That's pretty
little
much it.
ridiculous.
I know. It is. It is. So, well, listen, I want to wrap things up here with you, Greg. But this has been
And
a
we might do
true
this
pleasure.
again anyway, according to you.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, we're gonna have part two.
Part two.
But yes, exactly. Um, but I wanted to just thank you for being on the Side B Session podcast with me. And this has been a
Anytime,
true
Bobby.
pleasure.
Anything I can do
Yeah,
to help. I
this is great.
as I told you, I love the medium. I just love this medium, and I think
Yeah.
it's fabulous.
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, here
It's
you are. I'm in New Jersey. You're in Michigan, and we're talking face
yeah.
to face here about
I could
music
be
and
back in
everything.
Melbourne. Yeah,
It's good. Yeah,
it's
you could.
crazy.
You could.
Yeah.
How how do people find you, Greg? Is there anything online that you want to point people to?
I haven't. I had a website, and
Okay.
I'm just in the middle of doing a new one. But I don't
Okay.
mind. People can find me on Facebook. Gregory L. Hind. I don't
On
mind.
Facebook. Gotcha. All right.
Having
Yeah.
as many, because all I ever use that for really is just to promote my gigs.
That's great.
So
I'm gonna put a link. I'm gonna put a link down below
yeah, Gregory
for
L.
that.
Hind. You'll see the picture of me. Looks pretty
Great.
similar.
Gregory L. Hind. So, well, Mr. Hind, this has been fantastic. And
I
again,
don't even know your
I want
last
to
name, Bobby.
Hunter.
Hunter. That's right. Well, Mr.
There you
Hunter,
go.
thanks for having me.
This has been great. And everybody who's out there, find Gregory L. Hind on Facebook and
All the
stay
same
tuned
on
the next
Instagram.
because
Yeah.
Greg and I are going to do this again. We're definitely going to do this
Yeah.
again.
This is
There's no
like a
doubt.
practice run.
It's a practice run, and maybe next time when I do it, you can have Brian Johnson or Don Henley with you. Who knows?
You never know. I tell you,
That'd be great. That'd be great.
crazier things have happened, as they say.
Exactly. Exactly. All right,
All
Greg,
right,
we're going
man.
to sign now. Peace. Okay, I'll be in touch. Thank you, Greg.
I'll come back.
All
Great
right.
to
Bye
see
bye.
you.
Take care.
Thanks, man.